Priya Patil, serving as Assistant Professor of English at Government First Grade Women's College, Bidar. In my previous video, we have discussed about what exactly is NAAC, that is the National Assessment and Accreditation Council, and what are its main aims and objectives. We have also understood about the core values of NAAC. Before we try to understand what is the quality indicator framework and how exactly this assessment process is undertaken, let us first try to get acquainted with the terminology which is associated with NAAC. There are certain special terms which are used during the NAAC accreditation process, which we in the higher education system should be aware of. So, in this video, I will be explaining to you certain commonly referred to terms and abbreviations which we will come across during the process of assessment and accreditation by NAAC. Let us now begin with the first abbreviation, that is A&A. This is one of the most basic terminology which is associated with NAAC. A&A refers to assessment and accreditation. The entire purpose of NAAC is to assess the higher education institution and then certify and give accreditation to that institution. This assessment and accreditation process is common for all higher education institutions, irrespective of whether it is a government-run institution or an aided institution or a private institution. This is also applicable to universities, autonomous colleges, as well as affiliated colleges. There is another term which is related to this, that is the AAA or AAA, which is the Academic and Administrative Audit. This academic and administrative audit is an integral part of NAAC. Any institution which wants to go in for the NAAC accreditation process needs to have an AAA, that is an academic and administrative audit at regular intervals, at least once a year. This audit will be checking or an appraisal of all the activities which have taken place, both academic in nature as well as in the administrative sphere. Next, we come across AC, that is the Academic Council. Every university has an academic council. Similarly, we at the college level also need to have an academic council. The purpose and function of this academic council is to have an overall understanding of which are the academic activities which need to be taken up at the college level and the various programs which need to be incorporated into the calendar of events for that particular academic year. Generally, this academic council has the principal as the chairman, the IQAC coordinator, who will be also an important member of this council, along with all the heads of departments of the various departments which are functioning in the college. All of them together will formulate the academic policies which are going to be implemented for that particular academic year. Next, we have AQAR, that is the Annual Quality Assurance Report. This is a yearly report which every college has to submit once they are accredited by NAAC. So, those colleges who have not yet been accredited by NAAC need not fill up this AQAR, but those who have already completed one cycle of NAAC need to fill up the AQAR every year and submit it to NAAC. It has now become an online process, and those colleges who submit it regularly will face no problems when they have to go in for NAAC at the end of 5 years. BOS, that is the Board of Studies. I think most of us are acquainted with the BOS. which usually happens at the university level. But we at the college level also can have our own BOS, especially when we are trying to introduce certain diploma certificate courses or diploma courses at the college level. When we introduce an add-on course at the college level, then a board of studies has to be constituted to decide about the syllabus, the mode of examination, and other particulars related to that course. Again, this board of studies will consist of the principal, the IQAC coordinator, the HOD of that department, and you can also invite other lecturers or professors from the same department from your neighboring colleges. So in this way, this board of studies is a necessity which we have to form, and it is only after the decisions which have been taken in the board of studies that you can implement your add-on course in the college. Next is CAL, that is Computer Aided Learning. Computer Aided Learning is nothing but the use of technology in improving the teaching learning process. So when we try to introduce technology, we make use of technology while we are teaching so that learning becomes more effective and more enjoyable for the students, then it is known as computer aided learning. CAS, Center for Advanced Studies, is an institute, autonomous institute of higher studies, which is situated in Lucknow, Uttar Pradesh. The next abbreviation which we come across is CBCS. I think we are all now familiar with this. This is the choice-based credit system, which has been implemented along with the NEP. Now, this choice-based credit system is a completely different system of marking and evaluation from the previous system which we used to follow. Under this system, there are different kinds of courses, such as the discipline core courses, open electives, the compulsory ability enhancement courses, skill enhancement courses, which a student has to study. Instead of marks, the student is now assessed by his credits, which he manages to accumulate during a particular academic year. So the entire system of marking and grading is now based on credits. CDC, that is the College Development Council. It is a major body in the college which is responsible for taking important decisions regarding improving the quality of education which is provided in the college, as well as in developing the infrastructure. Generally, the formation of the CDC in colleges, especially in the government colleges, has to be formulated according to the framework which has been given by the Department of Collegiate Education. So usually the representatives such as the MLA, the ZP members are the members of this. Along with that, various renowned educationists, industrialists, businessmen, student representatives, as well as the administrative staff are also members of the College Development Council. The next is CGPA, Cumulative Grade Point Average. All higher education institutions which undergo the process of NAAC assessment and accreditation are measured or are graded under each of the 7 criteria. Then, as the final outcome, the entire result is consolidated and the cumulative grade point average is calculated. CSIR, that is the Council of Scientific and Industrial Research. This is one of the leading research and development organizations or institutions, and it is an autonomous institution which has been formed. Generally, it is funded by the Ministry of Science and Technology. CPE, that is Colleges with Potential for excellence. The UGC has a scheme under which colleges who have good grades in the NAAC assessment process get special funds in order to improve their quality of education which they provide and to improve the infrastructure so that they can compete at an international or global level. The next abbreviation which we come across is DELNET, that is Developing Library Network. This was established mainly with the objective of promoting sharing of resources, and so a network of libraries was created. Here, computerized usage is also offered to the people who visit the site. DEP, that is Distance Education Program. This distance education program is basically for those students who cannot physically attend the classes or attend the course during the academic year. So for such students, usually it used to be the education system was provided through the correspondence system. But in today's world, it is more of an online education which comes under distance education program. The next abbreviation is EMRC, that is the Educational Multimedia Research Center, which is established under the University of Roorkee. EMRC basically aims to create and develop very high quality television programs based on education, to conduct live interactive sessions on EduSat, and also to develop e-content. They also conduct various media studies. FIST, that is the Fund for the Improvement of Science and Technology Infrastructure. This scheme has been started by the Ministry of Science and Technology, Government of India, in order to promote research and development activities in various new and emerging areas, as well as to attract fresh talents in universities and other educational institutions. ICT, so making use of information and communication technology in the educational process, is a very important aspect which is assessed during the NAAC assessment and accreditation process. Using of ICT in educational means improves the teaching learning methodology, and research has shown that it enhances the learning ability of the students. So it is an integral part of the NAAC assessment process, and every higher education institution which intends to go in for NAAC assessment and accreditation needs to implement the use of ICT in their regular teaching methodology. IIQA, that is the Institutional Information for Quality Assurance. Every higher education institution which wants to apply for the NAAC assessment and accreditation has to submit the IIQA. Under this, they have to submit all the basic information in the given format about their higher education institution, which includes all the details about the 7 different criteria, as well as the basic information about the higher education institution. IQAC, Internal Quality Assurance Cell. This is one of the most integral parts of the college system. Every college is supposed to have a functioning IQAC, and it is the role of the IQAC to monitor all the activities which are taking place in the college and to bring in a quality culture in the institution. It is the IQAC which takes up quality enhancement initiatives, and they takes up various steps in order to sustain these quality initiatives which have been taken up in the institution. InflibNet, Information and Library Network. This is involved in modernizing and developing the libraries in various educational institutions in our country. This has been done in order to make optimum utilization of the information to all the students and cater to all the students from various educational institutions. IPR, Intellectual Property Rights. This is a legal provision which tries to safeguard any inventions which have been made, especially in the industrial, scientific, literary, or artistic fields. So, intellectual property rights basically safeguards anything which you have created on your own. It usually includes trademarks, copyrights, patents, etc. ISR, Institutional Social Responsibility. So, every higher education institution has an institutional social responsibility. It needs to inculcate in its students social awareness, certain moral values, and environmentally responsible behavior. KI, that is the key indicators. In the NAAC assessment and accreditation process, there will be various criteria, in the 7 criteria under which you will be assessed. This 7 criteria will, each of these criteria then focuses on certain basic points, the key points which are known as the key indicators. So each of these key indicators will then have separate matrices which may be qualitative or quantitative in nature. MHRD, Ministry of Human Resource and Development, which is now known as MOE, that is the Ministry of Education. It is a ministry of the central government of India and is basically working at present on the implementation of the National Education Policy 2020. There are basically 2 main units under this ministry, one which which looks into primary education and the other which looks into higher education. MOU, that is the Memorandum of Understanding. Again, one of the important aspects of the NAAC assessment and accreditation is that it expects that every higher education institution should involve all stakeholders into the formulation of policies for that particular institution. And the NAAC stresses on having memorandum of understandings with various other industries, other academic institutions, organizations, in order to promote various academic activities and also for employment opportunities for the students of that particular institution. So, having MOUs with different organizations for various academic purposes as well as employment, for creating employment opportunities for the students, is an important aspect of the NAAC assessment and accreditation process. MIS, Management Information Systems, are usually various processes of collecting data and information and processing it and disseminating it in order to assist in the policy framing and analysis, as well as in monitoring and enforcing various policies and activities, implementing various programs at different educational levels. 2 such recently introduced programs from the Department of Collegiate Education in under the government of Karnataka are LMS and UUCMS. LMS, which is a learning management system, and UUCMS, that is the Unified University and College Management System. NCC, National Cadet Corps, is the youth wing of the Indian Armed Forces. There are 3 wings under this, which is the Army, Air Force, and the Navy wings. This is purely voluntary in nature, where young citizens can join NCC and they can be transformed into disciplined and responsible citizens. NET, NET, that is the National Eligibility Test. This is an examination which has to be cleared by those candidates who are interested in being appointed as assistant professors in various colleges and universities. NGO, non-government organizations. These are usually organizations who function without any assistance from the government and who are basically involved in various humanitarian activities. NPTEL. This is a scheme of the Ministry of Education, which is known as the National Program Teaching Enhanced Learning. This offers various courses, especially online courses and e-content, and NPTEL certified courses are considered to be valid all over our country. NSS, this is a scheme by the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports. This is again voluntary in nature and it involves students from PUC and college level. So here the students, or the main aim of NSS is to give a hands-on training experience to students to engage in community service activities. The next abbreviation which we come across is PTR, that is the peer team report. Generally, after the entire process of document validation and verification, the peer team comes over to visit the higher education institution, which is going through the process of NAAC accreditation. This peer team will try to assess the qualitative matrices, that is, the matrices where the quality aspects, that is 30% of the assessment is done through this qualitative matrices. The team will hand over their report to the principal and to the NAAC organization, and based on this report, the grading will be allotted. SET or SLET is again an examination which candidates have to appear for in order to become eligible for assistant professor posts in various universities and colleges. SSR, self-study report, is one of the most important parts or aspects which every higher education institution has to prepare when it goes in for the NAAC accreditation and assessment. It is very necessary that the SSR should include all the core values of NAAC. That is, the SSR should provide or prove that the higher education institution is taking up various measures to enforce the core values of NAAC. Also, the SSR should provide documentary evidences regarding all the various criteria and the key indicators which have been framed by NAAC. This self-study report should also show what are the present activities which are being enforced in the institution, what steps have been taken to maintain quality in the institution, and what steps are going to be taken to improve the quality of the institution in future also. Then we have SWOT, that is strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and challenges. This is a concept which has been borrowed from the field of management. Every higher education institution is expected to go through this SWOT analysis and try to understand their strengths and weaknesses. Also, what are the possibilities to develop and where are the limitations or challenges which they are going to face. This will help the higher education institution to plan and formulate better policies for the development of quality of that particular institution. Wi-Fi, that is wireless fidelity, is nothing but the wireless technology which connects our computers, tablets, smartphones, etc. to the internet. YRC, that is Youth Red Cross. It is a wing of the Indian Red Cross Society, which is a premier humanitarian organization. its main aim is to transform our youth into socially responsible individuals. So friends, you must now have got a fair idea of the various terms which are generally used in relation to the NAAC assessment and accreditation process. With a better understanding of these different terms, I am sure it will be much easier for you to understand the entire process of the NAAC assessment and accreditation. I hope you liked this video and it was very useful for you. Thank you.